Welcome to Business Buffet, the Help Yourself video series, bringing you fast food for thought. Info you can really sink your teeth into. For best results, first review the program without doing the exercises, and ask yourself the questions in the notebook introduction. Then, zero in on each section, doing the exercises as you go. Here are some of the characters you'll be meeting. You with a business idea. Your competitor with a different idea. Your product or service, your supplier, your prospect, and your customer. When you hear this and see this, it's your signal that there's something to do. Have the notebook handy and jot down the ideas you get. After reviewing the whole series, your notes will be a valuable resource. As you plan and grow your business, watching again and again will stimulate fresh insights and creative solutions. And by inviting others to watch with you as a basis for discussion and brainstorming, you can benefit from their ideas too. Now, let's take the fear out of finance. Welcome to Cash Flow Forecast. By the end of this program, you'll be able to explain the purpose of forecasting cash flow, identify the 3 components of the cash flow forecast, and apply a 5-step approach to completing the forecast. We read about it all the time. An active business that appears healthy, great reputation, active sales, and then, poof, out of business. How can this happen? Poor cash management? Money tied up so bills unpaid? Are profit margins too low? Maybe unproductive assets are draining profits. Your job is to monitor, measure, invest, borrow, and collect enough money so your business continues to operate on track. Enough means the right amount at the right time. Enough on hand to cover expenses. Enough lined up so you can acquire assets. And enough invested so you get the best return. Regardless of the business you're in, cash is king. Can you pay the bills? Will you be able to afford this equipment? A cash flow forecast helps you predict whether there'll be enough cash through the year to support your business and how much cash to have on hand at any time. If you show a deficit at the end of a month, you need to rethink. What terms can I stretch to delay some payments? How else can I increase my output if I don't buy this equipment? You may discover that you'll need financial help to tide you over. With a realistic cash flow forecast, you can impress lenders with your understanding of cash flows and show them that your business is on a sound cash basis. And knowing how much cash you need at any point will help you negotiate customized loans and terms that fit your forecasted schedules. The strength of cash flow forecasting is that it shows the actual flow of dollars through your business, the strongest indicator of how you're doing. But it doesn't immediately recognize credit sales or payables and receivables, so it can be as misleading as the operating statement on its own. What's important is to understand how they interact. Time is money, so let's get started. Your operating forecast lists sales and expenses as they're expected to happen, showing a profit or loss, a picture of what's going on. But is it the whole picture? Because of the timing of cash events, the numbers on your operating forecast will differ from those in your cash flow. Office supplies may be paid in cash, equipment leases due at the end of the month, and rent at the beginning. Insurance may be paid quarterly, while some disbursements can be delayed. And the date you get paid by your customer can be long after you've congratulated yourself for the sale, creating peaks and valleys in cash flows. So it's not hard to imagine a business unable to pay its bills while showing a profit, or unprofitable yet still have cash. And without the proper tools and your ability to use them, you could get a false sense of security about how much cash you really have on hand. The cash flow forecast is a dose of reality, recording cash transactions only as they're performed, when the money actually changes hands. The surplus or deficit at the end of each month will indicate your cash needs, so you have an early warning signal of trouble ahead. If you plan carefully, you'll know if there will be enough funds to make planned capital expenditures and to pay suppliers when due, or whether you need to extend your credit terms. You can then protect yourself in advance, with credit policies and enough of a float to cover you during lean periods. As with any forecast, the goal is to provide a realistic prediction, so some elements will require your best guesswork. A new business will rely more on its crystal ball and outside information sources like government agencies and trade associations. To start, you'll need your balance sheet, operating forecast, and the capital plan. The balance sheet gives the lead-ins for closing bank balance, accounts receivable, and accounts payable. The operating forecast lists sales, expenses, and profit or loss. And the capital plan proposes changes in fixed assets. From this information, you'll prepare a schedule of cash transactions, detailing payment terms and schedules. Then transfer all transactions to your cash flow forecast, month by month, according to those schedules. For instance, if you pay your insurance premium in installments, the operating statement shows the annual premium, while your cash flow forecast shows when the installments are actually paid. Remember, the objective of forecasting is not to create an absolutely perfect picture of the future, but to provide a prediction that's realistic enough to help you in your planning. There are 5 steps to building a cash flow forecast: opening balance, sales, cash-ins or receipts, cash-outs or disbursements, and summary. Let's review them one by one. If you're already in business, the closing balances from accounts receivable, accounts payable, and the bank are transferred to your forecast under the heading Opening Balance. For new businesses, record any personal investments, loans, and prepaid expenses. So your opening balance equals total cash-ins minus total cash-outs. Calculate the opening balance for your cash flow forecast. Pause while you write, then press play to continue. Whenever you close a sale, it's time to celebrate, right? But don't give yourself credit for sales as they close, because the cash flow won't recognize them until the customer pays. And depending on your type of business, cash flows may be influenced by seasonal fluctuations. If yours is a startup, contact your industry association for more details. Not all sales are cash transactions. You'll probably grant credit to some customers, under specified terms, usually 30 to 60 days. In your cash flow forecast, enter projected payments according to the terms you expect. If you're already in business, your existing accounts receivable should be scheduled into your forecast. You may also schedule a specific amount for uncollectibles, which you'll then deduct from accounts receivable as you do your planning. Purchases are listed by month, and then by how you pay your suppliers. If you purchased in January with 30-day terms, it's recorded as a February payment to accounts payable. If you can negotiate 60 or 90 days, great! You don't have to show the payment until March or April. For the forecasting period, write down your projected sales, cash-ins, and cash-outs. Pause while you write, then press play to continue. The final stage in building your cash flow forecast involves summarizing and tabulating the month's cash-ins and cash-outs. Just transfer the totals which you already have so you can calculate your final monthly cash position. To get the new closing bank balance, transfer the total monthly receipts to cash in, then total monthly disbursements to cash out. If the bank balance is negative, you're cash short, and you might decide to increase your credit line or seek additional investment. But if the balance is positive, you can plan growth and expansion opportunities. Now take some time to calculate your final monthly cash position for the period. Pause while you write, then press play to continue. Planning is about imagining the future you want, identifying the steps to get you there, and applying what-ifs in a detailed way so you can plot the best course. If you can anticipate shortfalls, you can defer, delay, renegotiate, or reschedule so you stay on top of things. Cash flow is the lifeblood of your business, and money management is the pulse. To survive in business, watch your cash flow as though it were your own electrocardiogram. Now that you can explain the purpose of forecasting cash flow, identify the 3 components of the cash flow forecast, and apply a 5-step approach to completing the forecast, forecasting should become an annual event. But review your cash plan every month. As long as you can prepare for potential shortfalls and adjust your plans, roadblocks can become bridges. It's always a good idea to consult your accountant or financial advisor before making major business decisions. This has been part of the Business Buffet Help Yourself video series. Business Buffet, helping small business help itself to profit by making business learning fun. If you enjoyed this overview, you'll want to know about the other exciting products and services specially created to help small business help itself to profit. For information on the growing list of Business Buffet products and services, and to be placed on our mailing list, contact Business Buffet and help yourself to profit. Thank you.